As the weather warms up, we might be getting back to doing the fun spring and summer activities that we all love to do, like camping, hiking, and even gardening. But this time of year also means that you're more at risk of being bitten by a tick. Ick. All right, so first off, what is a tick? Is it an insect, a spider? I have Bruce Doran here to explain to us.
So a tick belongs to a group of invertebrates that include arachnids, things like spiders and tarantulas. They're very, very small. There's about 40 species of them here in Canada, and unfortunately, a lot of them take blood. They'll take blood from animals, and as a result, they can actually spread a whole bunch of diseases to us and to animals. And a lot of these diseases tend to be bacterial type of diseases.
What disease are we most concerned about with ticks?
So the disease we're most concerned with is Lyme disease. So Lyme disease is a disease picked up by when a tick bites an animal, and then when it bites you, it will inject this type of bacteria called the Borrelia species bacteria, which can cause Lyme disease.
Since Lyme disease is caused by bacteria, it is often treated with antibiotics. The problem is, Lyme disease is very difficult to diagnose. There are over 100 known symptoms of Lyme disease. Sometimes people might not have symptoms for months. It is most treatable at the beginning of an infection, but if it's left untreated, can lead to chronic Lyme disease. Although black-legged ticks or deer ticks are the most common Lyme disease carrier, no tick is a good tick. Ticks feed on various wild animals, picking up infectious pathogens. When they bite humans, they might infect us with those pathogens. So what do we do then? I guess prevent ourselves from infection in the first place.
Yeah, so you avoid tick-infested areas such as, let's say, a wooded area or areas with tall grass, where, long pants, long sleeve shirts, light colored clothing. It's also good because you actually can see the ticks. The other trick, you can actually take your socks and tuck your pants into your socks. And you can also use bug repellent, such as DEET or Cardigan. And they now also sell clothing that is bug repellent, and that will help you to prevent the ticks from latching onto you.
So after you've gone out, just make sure to check yourself.
Yeah, check yourself, your children, just to check, your groin area, your knees, different parts of your leg, maybe your underarms, your head. Also, you don't think ticks? Well, they could actually fall from surfaces. Have a buddy check you out, take a shower, that's also very good. And also, if you go out with your pets, also check your pets.
What's the best way to remove a tick?
First of all, don't panic.
Okay.
All right, that's the first thing. Then you take forceps and you go to where the tick is and you grab the head as close to the skin, and then you pull up.
Straight up.
Straight up. Now, don't use heat. Don't try to put any products like petroleum jelly. That doesn't work.
Right.
And that might actually stress the tick, and it might inject even more of the disease-causing organism inside. So you grab it by the head, you pull straight up, take the tick, put it into some type of container or a baggie, wash the wound, okay, soap and water, and then with iodine or alcohol, and then call your local health unit to see what are the next steps, because the local health unit may want the tick to test it and to determine if it is the tick that carries the disease.
We've learned how you might get Lyme disease, but what are the symptoms of Lyme disease?
Okay, so the symptoms of Lyme disease, you get flu-like symptoms, aches, a runny nose. Now, for some people, only about 50% of us, where the actual tick bit, you might actually see a rash there, but not everybody. Now, a lot of those symptoms tend to disappear after a couple of weeks, but if it is not treated, it can lead to neurological issues where you have problems with memory, problems with concentration, major headaches, sometimes problems with your joint. So it's really, really important that you diagnose the disease early, because it's easy to treat when it's early diagnosis. So if you find a tick on you, please make sure you take care of it and you talk to your healthcare professional.
Awesome. Current Lyme disease tests don't detect for the bacteria, but detect for antibodies against the bacteria. It's a blood test. The problem with this is that you have to wait long enough for your body to have made antibodies against the pathogen. Also, most tests only focus on 1 or 2 of the Borrelia bacteria species when there are at least 18 distinct types of Lyme-causing bacteria. So testing Lyme disease might be hard, but it's good to know that people at the University of Guelph are working on a new test that is low cost, high sensibility, portable, and easy to bring to clinics so that we can diagnose Lyme disease more easily. Back in the 1990s, they were working on a vaccine, but that got shelved. In the news last year, they were talking about how certain companies might be developing a new vaccine against Lyme disease. It's good to know that most symptoms of Lyme disease appear between 3 and 30 days of having been bitten by an infected black-legged tick. You should contact your local health unit or a trusted healthcare professional if you've been anywhere where ticks are and start experiencing any of the symptoms that have been listed. Now that you know all this, there's no reason to go and make things so complicated. Remember, try to prevent infection, check after you've been outside, and take action if you think you might have the symptoms of Lyme disease. Thank you, Bruce, for joining us. Thanks so much for your expertise.
So you're welcome, and follow us on our socials.